Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to discuss a news article out of Mississippi. Apparently, one of their high schools, maybe more than one of them, has a policy, and this policy was issued as a memo to the student body. And in that memo, it stated categorically that if you wanted to go to the school's prom, you'd have to bring a date that was of a different gender, so only heterosexual couples. Though I suppose if you wanted to pretend and just bring someone of the opposite gender even though you weren't involved and just lie about it, that would be okay too. Now, that memo in and of itself would be enough to have a news article written, from me to make a video making a comment about it, and to get them sued. However, things went a little further. One of the students, a lesbian, decided that she really wanted to bring her partner to the prom, and the partner was going to dress in a tux because that's what the partner wanted to wear. She approached the school to discuss this, looking to find a way around this particular rather egregious and bigoted rule that they had put forth. And of course, she failed. But the school didn't just say, "No, dear, lesbians are not allowed." They decided that they would shut down the entire prom. They would cancel the prom. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have ever been involved in a prom, but proms are not only a social event, but they're a fairly large tie-up in funds. You have to get yourself your dress or your tux. There's usually flowers involved. There's often a rental car or a limo. Lots of people have after parties that involve hotel rooms. So there's a fairly substantial investment in money in a prom. So just canceling this like this is going to cost a whole lot of people a whole lot of money. I knew people when I was in school that would really look forward to the prom as the social event for the entire year. Don't ask me why. I only went to one. I thought it was kind of silly and got dumped at the prom. So my memories of prom aren't that great. But I see this move as a wonderfully politically correct, passive-aggressive means of punishing this student. Because the school just can't come out and say, "No, you're a bad lesbian," because that would even be even worse. They've already issued the memo, which is going to get them sued. They've already made the decision, which is going to get them sued. Now, by doing this, they can sit back and let the student body, who is now upset, take out the wrath upon this student. It's the perfect win-win for the school. They get to ride their high horse, up that mountain to their moral high ground, and sit back and watch the student receive verbal, possibly even physical abuse from her classmates, which of course is immoral and despicable, but it does not surprise me in the least that petty members of a school administration would do something like this. I'm sure that the PTA was involved as well. This is the 21st century. It is the year 2010. And the reality is that the younger generation, the generation of these girls' classmates, just don't care about same-sex couples. I saw a study recently that showed by state and by age bracket which groups were in agreement with same-sex marriage. And all of the southern states, I'm sorry to say, were at the bottom of this, and most of the northern states were at the top of it. And if you look at the chart, the younger the person got, the higher the approval rating. And the people in this girl's classmates, this bracket right here, even in the deep south, were in like the 35 to 40% acceptance range. And in the higher percentages, some of them were in like the 75% for the northern New England states. And the reality is that the older people are all going to die off, and the younger people who are going to take over just don't care. Now, the older generation is still in power. The older generation is still going to be able to call the shots for another decade or so. But eventually, the younger generation is going to move up. Those kids that are currently in college and those that are going to be in college the next decade or so. Because they just don't care if someone is involved with another person of the same gender. It doesn't matter to them. It is inconsequential. What matters is someone's in a relationship and if they're happy. I know that's a startling, horribly strange idea to a lot of the older people in the world. Sadly, quite a few of them which are in my age bracket and older. But love is love. Relationships are relationships. Your sex, your gender, your orientation don't really matter in the least. As long as you're happy, as long as everyone involved is consenting, what other people do isn't your business. And really, we don't need your opinion. But for the next few decades, this older generation still holds the reins of power. They can still be petty, vindictive, and just plain out cruel. In this case, passive-aggressive. But the one thing that the rest of us can do is that we can write news articles. We can shine the light of reason into the dark recesses of your bigoted, petty lives. And we can sue you. That's a comforting thought, isn't it? That you're going to be sued again and again and again for the next 2 or 3 decades. Maybe, eventually, you'll get the point that not everyone is as petty and vindictive and bigoted as you.